Deliver the latest information on the Rockman series, huh? Well, I remember the last time a TGS panel promised something like that.
Wow! It's absolutely nothing! They had cute girls, though.
Hey guys, and welcome to a general Mega News update. My name is ShadowRock, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Mega Man 0/ZX Legacy Collection, what Capcom is doing at Tokyo Game Show, special collaborations, the Teppen Day of Nightmares expansion, Smash Brothers costumes, and some other things too. Let's kick things off with some PAX West impressions for Mega Man 0 and ZX Legacy Collection. YouTuber Rockman Labs was a real trooper during the show, and he got some off-screen footage of the game. This being the very first time we've seen the game in action outside of trailers, we got quite a few new details. The most exciting one is the remastered voice option. We talked about in the previous ZeroZX Legacy Collection video how it looked like the FMV sequences for Mega Man ZX1 and ZX Advent looked a lot better, almost HD, compared to the original compressed DS ones. And we were wondering if the whole remastered thing would carry over to the voice acting as well. And it seems that would be the case, because you can pick between two different options. Original, which is the original DS voice files that were rather compressed because they had to shrink it down to get it onto the DS cartridge, or you can use the remastered voice files, which is mastered audio using the actual voice recordings. So they should be a lot higher quality, which is definitely going to help ZX Advent, I will say that.
And I'm Master Mikhail. Nice to meet you, Mega Man.
Unfortunately for you guys that wanted a completely new English dub, you're not getting that here. I don't think it's really in the budget anyways, but it will be higher quality than it was on the DS, so that is something at least. And it's really great to know that this will be the definitive version of Mega Man ZX1 and ZX Advent when this collection comes out, between the remastered cutscenes and the remastered voice audio. Other details that Rockman Labs included in his video, which I will be including the links to those two videos in the description below. Do check them out, because he had a lot to say about the games. But to summarize a lot of what he said, the first thing is the controls. They are going to be exactly like the original games, for better or worse. On the worst side, it seems like for Mega Man 0, 1 through 4, you will only be able to use the A and B buttons on the Nintendo Switch, or for universal controllers, the right button and then the bottom button. You can only use those buttons for jumping and shooting. This is just like how it was in the DS Mega Man 0 collection, which, yeah, that is definitely not ideal, especially since we do have 4 face buttons available now. I'm hoping that it will turn out that we can actually set the buttons to, say, shoot for Y and jumping for B. But for right now, it's looking like you can only use A for jump and B for shooting, just like in the DS Zero collection. On the flip side, for the ZX games, since the DS did use all 4 face buttons, you can still shoot with Y and jump with B. It's only the Zero games that are affected by this because the Game Boy Advance only had 2 buttons, so you're pretty limited in your options there. But I'm hoping we can reconfigure the controller beyond what the Zero games originally allowed you to do. Speaking of, the Zero Series button config screen in all the games is still there like it used to be. The only difference now is the button icons have been replaced with Switch buttons in this case, but they'll be replaced like PS4 buttons or Xbox One buttons as well. As for how the controls feel, Rockman Labs notes that he didn't experience any noticeable input delay at all while playing the Xbox One version at the show, which is a good sign. However, when he played the Nintendo Switch version later on, he noticed a massive amount of input lag, but he does believe that this was caused by the TV display at the demo station not being properly configured, so he thinks it's more the TV's fault than the Switch's fault. So take that as you will. In case you were wondering, all the Zero games and the ZX series will be included in the same game, so it's only one collection for the entire Zero and ZX series, which is pretty cool. To switch between series, you actually press left or right on the main menu, and you can switch from 0 to ZX and vice versa, at which point you'll be presented with a menu where you can select which game you want to play. You can also toggle the save assist modes from the main menu. Inside the games themselves, just like in past Legacy collections, you can display wallpapers in the empty spaces. Looking through the menus here, it seems like there will be 2 different wallpapers assigned to each of the games, for a total of 12 wallpapers. But there are 2 more unlockable special wallpapers that we didn't get to see because they're not unlocked yet. So that would bring us up to 14 total wallpapers in the game, which is definitely a noticeably higher number over the X Legacy collections. X Legacy collection also had their own 2 special unlockable wallpapers, but they weren't really that special, so we'll see what these wallpapers will be in the Zero and ZX Legacy collection. Also, in case you were wondering, how do you control the bottom screen in the Mega Man ZX games? You can control them by moving a cursor with the right stick. And once you have the cursor over what you want to touch, you press down on the right stick to confirm your selection. That's how you can use the menu to switch between your different forms in ZX Advent, for example. Which is pretty much exactly how I thought it was gonna work, but good to have confirmation of that. Hopefully for the Nintendo Switch version, since the Switch does have its own touchscreen in handheld mode, you'll be able to use the touchscreen like normal. Other menu options include loading a save assist point, toggle save assist, the manual for each of the games, screen layout, filter, wallpaper, return to title, and exit. Screen layout is where you edit how the DS screens are displayed in the ZX games. There is a bunch of different options there. As for filter options, we know that the first option is that ugly looking filter that's supposed to smooth out the graphics, but it doesn't look that great. I would just turn that off. But we do get to see Type 2 for the first time, and basically what it does is it makes the image look noisy, which also isn't that great from the looks of it. They could be going for a retro CRT look with this one, but I don't even see any scan lines, so I'm gonna say, for me personally, I would just turn all those filters off, which you can. And that will do it for those impressions of the Mega Man Zero and ZX Legacy collection. But if you want to hear more about the collections, my good friend Ash Paulson from Game Explain actually did get to play the collections, and we're already in the talks of having a discussion about that sometime in the upcoming week. So if we want to hear about his playtime of the game, that is coming up. Next up, another thing happening this upcoming week is Tokyo Game Show 2019. Capcom is going to have a big presence at the show, including Monster Hunter World Iceborne once again, and they're showing off a new Resident Evil co-op game project there as well. But for our purposes, for the Mega Man side of things, the main attraction is of course going to be Mega Man Zero and ZX Legacy Collection. First of all, the game will be playable on the show floor at Capcom's booth in Hall 7. More interestingly for those of us at home though, there will be a live broadcast on all 3 days of the show, September 12th, September 14th, and September 15th. The one on September 12th will take place from 8:50 a.m. to 9:40 a.m. Central Time, and they're calling it the Rockman Zero and ZX Double Hero Collection and Rockman Series Special Stage. The description goes on to say, Rockman Series producer Kazuhiro Tsuchiya and Rockman Unity manager Uchi-san will introduce Rockman Zero and ZX Double Hero Collection. In addition to showing the actual game, they'll also introduce new elements and deliver the latest information on the Rockman series. Deliver the latest information on the Rockman series, huh? Well, I remember the last time a TGS panel promised something like that.
Wow, it's absolutely nothing. They had cute girls though.
Yeah, the last couple years at TGS have been any indication. I'm not expecting anything really big coming out of this TGS as far as new game announcements or anything. At the most, we might get some kind of hint, because 2 years ago at TGS 2017, they announced the Mega Man 11 roll design via a Nintendo Droid announcement. It was literally just a figure announcement, and they passed it off as, oh look, here's a new roll figure. But in reality, as we came to find out, 4 months later, it was actually her new design for Mega Man 11. But at the time they announced it at TGS, we didn't know anything about Mega Man 11, They didn't even mention that this design would be for Mega Man 11. They just left it at, oh, here's a new toy. So maybe there might be a hint of something like that for like Mega Man X9 or something, but I highly doubt Mega Man X9 would actually get announced at TGS. So I'm just saying, for this one, keep your expectations low and don't flip a table or freak out if there is nothing new. But let's hope that there might be a little hint there. For now though, the main focus for Capcom is going to be promoting Mega Man Zero and ZX Legacy Collection, because they announced it ahead of PAX West and TGS, so they're going to reveal more information about the collection at the panels. They're going to hold 2 more additional Mega Man Zero and ZX Double Hero Collection panels on September 14th at 7:45 AM to 8:35 AM Central Time, and also on September 15th from 5 AM to 5:40 AM Central Time. It's worth noting that these 2 additional panels, in their description, they do not mention the latest information on the Rockman series thing. They just mention the Zero and ZX Legacy Collection, so presumably these 2 panels would just be all about the collection. So whatever is happening on September 12th, that's the only time they're going to talk about anything outside of the collection. So if there is going to be anything, September 12th is the one to keep an eye on. Man, everything is happening on the 12th, isn't it? This panel, Mega Man X Dive Beta starting that day as well. And I'm pretty sure there's other things going on in gaming at that time as well. It's gonna be a big week. Well, anyway, as our hosts for these panels is going to be Kazuhiro Tsuchiya, the producer of Mega Man at the time being, Ochi-san from Rockman Unity, get your faces on, and Tsukasa Takanaka, who is also a producer on the Mega Man Zero and ZX Legacy Collection. Tsukasa Takanaka is a Capcom developer who has worked on titles such as the Resident Evil series. He's had a hand in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, Dead Rising 2, he's the brand supervisor on Teppen, and he's also worked on Mega Man Battle Network 5, so cool beans. Now if you're at TGS in person, you can get some free goodies when you go to play the Zero and ZX Legacy Collections, including a premium poster, 5 different buttons, stickers with some artwork, and an exclusive t-shirt for winners of a retweeting campaign that Capcom is holding on their Twitter accounts. But this is only for people in Japan, so if you're not in Japan, big oof for you. Also, you can buy this Rockman Zero and ZX Double Hero Collection t-shirt for 4,800 yen. And yeah, that's pretty much it for what's going to be going on with Mega Man at the TGS 2019. Once again, I'm not expecting anything super huge coming out of the show besides some more information on Zero and ZX Legacy Collection, but I guess the end of X's 25th anniversary is coming up, so there might be a hint or something, and I'm just wondering if Capcom would rather choose to have another December stream, similar to how they revealed Mega Man 11. They can have a stream in December to close off Mega Man X's 25th anniversary on a high note with a Mega Man X9 announcement. Oh my god, that would be pretty hype if that happened, but that's just a pipe dream for now. Otherwise, definitely keep an eye on that panel in case something comes out of it, and of course, we'll let you guys know if something does happen there. As always, we just made a Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger X video last week, but there's already some more news to share. And it's a big one if you own the Xbox One console, because it is official, Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger X is coming to Xbox One. In addition to this announcement, they also released a brand new trailer, showing off all the Falcon members that we've talked about in the previous video, and they also showed off Lola's devil form, or they're calling it the Darkness Trigger form. You can see the actual full art here, and man, I was so hoping that they would localize this name in the West to Devil Trigger to reference the Devil May Cry series. But unfortunately it wasn't to be, so yep, it's called Darkness Trigger. But now, Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger X will be available on Xbox One for the first time, PlayStation 4 for the first time, Nintendo Switch, and Steam/PC. That means it's hitting all the modern platforms just like all the Mega Man releases, so that's freaking epic. It's a very exciting time to be a Mega Man fan. Or at least an exciting time to get your Mega Man itch. Now this next news update is a bit of a weird one. So the pop idol group in Japan known as TEAM SHACHI is having a collaboration with the Rockman series. The project is going to be called Rockman 20XX Fight Team Shachi. And this is another thing that's happening on September 12th. Yep, the full reveal is happening on the 12th, so that's 3 different Rockman related things that's happening on that day. Holy crap. And actually, this collaboration project is going to be officially unveiled at that special panel that's happening on the 12th at Tokyo Game Show 2019. So that's why I'm saying, don't expect X9 or anything, because it's going to be a lot of like Japan related stuff like this collaboration. So yep, that's already one thing they're going to talk about there besides the collections. Anyways, there's this really cool trailer that shows basically a mock-up of a Mega Man game intro where Mega Man, Proto Man, and Roll are old robots now living at a retirement home for old robots. And then Dr. Wily's AI attacks, reprograms Mega Man into this giant robot, and pretty much all hell breaks loose, and it's up to the pop idol group Team Shachi to be converted into super fighting robots to save the day and stop Mega Man and Dr. Wily. Well dang son, that got crazy quick. There's even a sequence with Mega Man with an IV in his arm, and there's some kind of poison being injected into him. It's like, dang. And I love the touch with the E-tank instead of the IV bag, instead of the fluid bag. It's pretty cool. Now when I first saw this, I was thinking, wait, is this actually a game? But apparently it's not a game. It's just a promotional trailer for Team Shachi's new single. And by single, I mean their new song. The song is called Rocket Queen featuring MCU. And it's actually coming out digitally on September 12th. And the physical version is coming out on October 2nd. Apparently MCU is a member of the band Kick the Can Crew, a hip hop group from Tokyo. This guy has been involved with the Rockman series before, including appearing on the 30th anniversary live concerts, and appeared on the Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 commemorative stream done by Capcom TV. He's also a well-known fan, of course, and sometimes he streams Rockman games on streams. Pretty cool. Now, Rocket Queen is going to be releasing in 4 different versions: Time Train Edition, Super Tough Disc, Strong Energy Disc version, and Positive Exciting Soul Disc version. And here's some promotional images with the girls actually holding Rockbusters. That's pretty neat. But if you want to learn more information, they do have a website, is rocketqueen.games. And the .games deal was kind of what made me think this might be some kind of browser game you could play, but I guess not apparently. But we'll find out more about this whole collaboration on September 12th either way. Speaking of more collaborations, GM Store is back, and this time they have a Rockman X3 25th anniversary band and piano album in their continuing series of Rockman X albums, and they have already posted several different samples, including the opening theme, logo, title, password, opening stage, Zero, stage select, stage start, Blast Hornet stage, Blizzard Buffalo stage, Gravity Beetle stage, Toxic Seahorse stage, Volt Catfish stage, and Crush Crawfish stage. You can listen to these samples through their website, which I have a link to in the description below, and there's no other information other than that, not even a release date, so we will leave it at that. Now we got a quick bit of merchandise news here. There's a leaked listing from HPOI, and it's going to be for this new Mega Man style Mega Man figure from Bandai that is apparently coming this winter. Man, that face though, reminds me of Astro Boy or something, I don't know. Or some kind of very cartoony character. Anyways, this figure will be non-articulated, and it's a new addition to Bandai's Grandista line. There's no official price tag, but apparently the launch is going to be in January 2020. That is all we know for right now, so take a good hard look at it, because we're going to be moving on. Now, as you guys know, last week we had the Nintendo Direct, and a lot of cool stuff happened, like Sans getting into Smash. But for our purposes, they also announced in that same Sans trailer a Zero from the Mega Man X series and a Proto Man from the Mega Man Classic series Mii costumes. They will never replace the actual characters, but I guess you can sort of play as Zero and Proto Man in Ultimate now. Sort of. And still no sign of the X and EXE Mii Fighter costumes from Smash 4. I was even saying myself while I was watching the Direct, where's EXE at? why isn't he back yet? So maybe in the future, hopefully. Because Sakurai did announce that in addition to Terry Bogard, who has been announced as the 4th DLC fighter, and the upcoming 5th DLC fighter that we don't know about yet, they were going to be creating more Smash characters beyond that DLC pack, which is pretty wild. They're still going with this. I'm not going to get my hopes up that there'll be a Mega Man character among those, but I guess the more DLC characters there are, the more chances of something like that happening. But at the very least, hopefully we get the EXE Mii Fighter costume at some point. As for the Zero and Proto Man Mii Fighter costumes, you can download them today for a small fee. So get on that, and maybe pick up Sans too so you can troll people with Megalovania. Now before we get into our last piece of news, I want to talk about something that's coming out this month. This is a reminder for you all that the Sega Genesis Mini is coming out on September 19th of this month. Yeah, this is a really big month for Mega Man, because the Sega Genesis Mini comes with Mega Man The Wily Wars, and this will be the first time that the US version of Mega Man The Wily Wars will be available outside of the original Sega Channel release, which is a big freaking deal as we covered in the past. The Sega Genesis Mini is about 80 bucks, so if you're interested in picking that up on September 19th to play Mega Man The Wily Wars, you can totally do that. But what if you want to play Mega Man The Wily Wars on your actual Sega Genesis? Well, you're in luck, because Retrobit Gaming is bringing Mega Man The Wily Wars as a physical release to North America for both the Genesis and the Mega Drive. It will be a collector's edition too that will include many extras, which they don't go into detail what is an extra, but we do see a Mega Man, a Elecman, and a prototype Quickman figure in the background with a picture, so that might be part of the collector's edition. Other than that, all we know about this right now is that it's coming out in Q1 2020. This will be the very first physical release for the North American version of Mega Man The Wily Wars, which again, it's a huge freaking deal. It has been 24 years coming, but it's finally happening. Freaking awesome. Megatastic. Now for our last piece of news. It is now September, and that means the Day of Nightmares expansion for Teppen has come out. And with the expansion comes over 20 different new Mega Man X related cards. We covered this already, but Jill Valentine from the Resident Evil series has also already been added as a new playable character, and in her deck she has the Cygnus card, Cygnus from X5. As for the rest of the cards included in the Day of Nightmares expansion, there is a ton of them, so what we're going to do at this point is we're going to play a quick little slideshow showing you every single card, their flavor text, and other details. So without further waffling, let's rock! did you notice the hidden character in the A-Trans card? Yep, it's Axel, using A-Trans to mimic Mega Man X. But Axel himself isn't even acknowledged, not even the flavor text. Poor guy. But anyways, that will do it for this news update on lots of general Mega Man things. Stay tuned for a lot more on things like Mega Man X Dive, Mega Man Zero and ZX Legacy Collection, including that Tokyo Game Show panel coming up next week, whether that collaboration will be with Team Shachi, and the Mega Man X Dive beta, which is the biggest thing happening this upcoming week. It's gonna be a busy time, but an exciting time too. So as always, keep it right here on ShadowRockZX. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, rock on, have a great day.